here we go. As you mentioned, we got a good one coming up. Mr. Stubbs, Craig McManamon, and Anthony Mendocino going to be blowing us away here in a minute. Let's hit some leaderboards before we get into it, though. Top first-time rider for the week was Rafael Alonso Vasquez with almost $12,000 in premium. Well done, Rafael. Really well done. Number one producer for the week, $34,114. Joanne is just on a.
Joanne is killing it.
Lord.
You had to do 18.4 to break the top 10.
What a business.
Ooh.
Top app count riders were tied between Monique Alradi and Vincent Andriotti. Well done, 17 appers. Our top med sup rider was Michael Lansu with $2,260. Our top disability rider was Michael Corey at $1,384. Our top IUL producer was Jacob Griak with $24,537 on 9 IULs. IUL business is blowing up, by the way. Talk to your mentor if you're ready to start selling some advanced markets. If you're not, you need to be doing some resets, and we'll talk about that here in a minute too. Tom Deutsch with $308,000 in annuity volume for the week to be number one. Well done. Our top DFL rider for the week was Ike Manella, who's also killing it on the advanced markets. $25,000 in production, just shy of it. Doubling up second place, but still second place was really good, Joel. Our top base shop new rider procurer is Tim Penso. That doesn't surprise me. Timmy's on a tear. Jamie Susi, as if timing were perfect, with 11 new riders in your direct agency. 11. We need to have Jamie on soon just to talk about that. Top SNAs in the base shop was Michelle Brock with 2. Carl Miller and Ryan and Michelle Miller all tied with 3 in the direct organization. And here are SNAs for the week. I'm going to go as fast as I can and see how many times I mess up. Rainey, Noser, Decker, Woodward, Moore, McRae, Wicklam, Stone, Budimlik, Brown, Chun, Tierman, Wilson, Darden, Herber, could be Abear, Locklear, Sawitty, Menard, Schmidt, McCormick, Fane Force, Oru, McNamara, and Daniels. Congratulations, seasoned new agents. I would like to put a challenge out to every one of these seasoned new agents to go pick up 6 this week. Not 6 in 6 weeks or 6 in 4 weeks, 6 this week. How many of you can do it? It's a personal challenge. And Casey and I are going to set out a couple of personal challenges here in a minute. We want to see who's going to rise to the top. I know it's already Wednesday, so we can look at this week and next week, but we're coming. Manny, $31,441 as a key leader for a week. Manny, that is huge. Heather Morrow with 3 recruits, and Jennifer Gray and Holly Allen with 3 new riders. Number 1 AO was Joanne Castellano. Well done, with $50,891. Jerry Choate and Bradley Sullivan. Oh, we got a 5-way tie here. Theo Pritchett, Daniel Barnes, Dan Stassen, Chad Harrington, and Bradley Sullivan, all with 2 new riders as AOs. Well done. Sarah Reinecke is the top agency director with $124,464. Larry Ann Griffin killing it on the recruiting, and Sarah on the new riders with 12. Well done. Trey Alderson Cloutier, $108,868, barely edging out Josh and Danielle Hershey, who barely edged out David Alvarado, who barely edged out Ben and Amy Miller. Jamie Susi, good week also. 15 recruits, 11 new riders for the Seuss. Well done. Chris Cook, number 1 managing vice president with $146,000 and 12 recruits and 7 new riders for our first turkey. Well done, sir. Mike and Jennifer Colburn, $164,000, $165 roughly. Nate Offert with 9 recruits. Good weeks across the board on the recruiting too. Ayers and Cicely Newsom with 7 new riders. Way to go, guys. The Mank Tank with $127,000. Sean Shannon with 18 recruits, and Mank with 7 new riders. It's a good week from you, Mank, Sean, everybody on the board. Ryan and Michelle Miller continue to boost this number. $515,611 for their organization is a big number.
Woo!
It's a really big number.
It's a big one.
It's we've been saying Ryan and Carl and Miranda and Ziller, and we mean everybody else in that organization as well, because they're all contributing to this. Listen, it's one thing to grow by 50 or 60% when you're an agency owner. It's another thing to grow by that much when you're already a $20 million agency. And so keep an eye on what the Millers are doing, the whole Miller team, I should say, because, man, they're blowing up. 18 recruits, Ashley and Tyler with 17 new writers. Good week for you guys as well. 402,000, 14 and 17. Well done. Danny Young with 503 grand, 30 recruits, and 25 new writers. I had a good talk with Danny. I don't know, Monday, maybe it was last week. It all kind of runs together. I think it was this week. And I will say, watch out, Spivey. I don't know how much you've talked in detail about what they got going on, what they're doing, but watch out. Marshall Whalen was 1.234,800. 93 RTWs and 45 new writers, man.
Hello.
That's a big miss. Big old numbers. Kevin Purdy, 175 grand on the direct board. Jacob Pogue with 40 recruits and Susie with 11 new writers. And finally, our base shops, Neversauer Newbauer with 63 grand. Shinovar with 12 recruits and Timmy Penso with 7 new writers. Great week, everybody. Great week. Who wants to go out and break a record this week? I said I was going to set out some personal challenges, and I mean me. This is personally, and Casey, we're personally challenging you. I want to see who's going to kind of rise to the top. Maybe there'll be something in it for you. Actually, there's a lot in it for you just by doing it. But I want to see who can go out and set an all-time record for themselves in personal production. And you know I'm saying this, and like Joanne Castellano and Misty Cintron, Ashley Richard, like, really? You really want me to go do that? I do, but only if you want to go do that. I want to see the people that want to get out and just blow this thing out of the water. It's an important time for the organization because we have had several talks with the directs, several talks with the AOs, specifically this week, some really good huddle ups on the final 80 to 85 days we have running into conference and what's going on behind the scenes here in the organization, because there's a lot of good things we want. And we think we have the ability to raise production by 10 to 20% over the next 2 weeks just by doing a handful of things. And we're going to talk about that handful of things, not in detail as much as we did with the directs, but just so that you guys are on the same page, so that when they're huddling up with you, when the AOs are huddling up with you over the coming weeks and really moving into conference, that you get the message as clear as it was coming directly from Casey and me. We are nearing the finish line on our very first capital raise. We've been close to this before. As you guys know, we're not interested in taking a bad deal. You know, the beauty of running an organization for 11 years and then creating a startup is that you guys were tremendously successful for over a decade doing what you do, right? So this business, just like your businesses, can spit out a ton of cash flow. But getting to the table to raise capital kind of for this first round of capital is really important because it's going to expedite everything that we're doing and where we're going. And that's great because we have a several year head start on the industry, but we don't have an indefinite head start. So it's important for us to kind of put a best foot forward. There's several potential partners looking at us. This is not, triggering event type stuff. This is first round to expedite the growth of the company and how quickly we can kind of get to where we're wanting to get to. I will say, as I told the AOs earlier today, that everybody that we're talking to in the market has been blown away about what you guys have accomplished. The fact that we are where we are without raising capital, they almost don't believe it. And then we have to kind of take them through everything for them to see it, and then they see it. So it's big potentially for where we're going down the road for ears holders. It's bigger, much, much, much bigger for what we're trying to do and accomplish for everyone out there that's running your business. Even if you're just in personal production or if you're building an agency, imagine what your life will be like if you are 10 times larger than you are now. If your personal production, if your income is 10 times more than it is now. If you're able to recruit and to sell and to do all of the things that you have to do to be successful in your business, if you can do that much easier, that's where we're going. And so sometimes it can feel like you get caught up in the ears talk or the equity pieces, but I just want to remind everybody that's kind of the cherry on top. That's not the thing. The thing is the impact that you're going to be able to make in your family's life with the business that you're currently running, the impact that you're going to continue to be able to make in more and more people that you're either helping with production or bringing into your organization to help them with production. That is the thing. That is the sundae with 2 scoops of ice cream. Maybe there's a banana in there, Brian, if you like bananas. Maybe there's not, but there is a cherry on top, and that's the equity piece. But it ain't the thing, right? The important thing that we want you guys to take away from this message is that there is no more important time than right now. And we're asking everyone to kind of lean into what you just heard from other people talking about the discomfort of growth. And if you will focus on 4 things, then we can move the needle on this within a short period of, I'm convinced, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, to actually go out and set a new path for ourselves and records for ourselves, which means records for many of you that buy into it. The first thing out of the 4 is engagement. Talk with your managers. How many conference calls are you getting on? How much are you huddling up? How proactive are you at positive communication, upline and downline? How proactive are you at getting better at things, learning more things about the business, working on yourself? The second one, which is why I cut the screen to us before we get into it, is leads and resets. I want to set out a challenge to everyone out there to go out and set a personal production record for yourself. And the way to do that is you buy more resources so that you have more activity, you have more people to talk to, so that you can go sell more insurance. One of the things that's being overlooked in the marketplace, the Symmetry leads marketplace right now, is the value of some of the lower tiered bonus leads. They've been priced B4s and B5s at literally an 11 to 12x return on your investment. Some of these leads are like $1.60 or 70 or something, right? The B3s are priced at 6.5 times your a return on your investment. Load up on bonus leads so that you can have more activity, which will allow you to go out and create much more production for yourself. Some of you that are 5,000 a week producers, if you listen to what we're saying, you can go turn it into 10,000. Some of you that have done 10,000 in a week can go turn it into 15 or 20,000. You know what your records are. Go do it. In addition to leads, so still under number 2, it's also resets. Did you guys know that every reset that you submit to the company is on average worth about $1,000 in premium? There's a 30% close ratio on those. And when a sale is made, they're worth about $3,400 in premium. So it's about $1,060 per reset submitted. If you don't know what we're talking about on resets, the first text or call I want you to make to your manager, to your team leaders, to the people that are helping you in this business is, what is a reset and how do I get better at it? It's very simple. It's very simple. It's you asking questions in a home that you're already talking to people that you've made a sale or you haven't made a sale. You're uncovering a need for them, and we're sending in the specialist to do that, and you're getting a massive split in response to just offering that. $3,400 per sale, $1,000 in premium per submit, per reset submit. Those are huge numbers. So if you're sitting in front of 10 people a week right now, you need to be asking the question 10 times. You may pick up 5 of them. You may pick up 8 of them. On average, you'll probably pick up 7.5 of them is what we're seeing. Okay. Ask the questions the right way, get better at this. This is something that you can fix and work with the company on immediately.
And the cherry on top, outside of extra commissions, is you get a client with another policy on the book, another policy in the family, and that creates very sticky business. That's why banks want you to have more than just one account. They want you to have a checkings, a savings, yada yada. The more protection you have on a family, the stickier that business is. So a lot less chargebacks. That's the cherry on top. So the reset takes all of 5 seconds to do, maybe a minute on the outside if you're slow. And I think there's some calls coming up this week to go into detail about the reset program. So I'm not sure if we have a slide on that.
I think there will be. one later, Casey. I think every Friday there's an engagement call around resets that really talks about less moving parts on what's being sold, more moving parts on, or more focused on how you're kind of engaging with the client, the questions to ask, what to do physically with the resets, how to submit it, that sort of thing.
Every single family you talk to, sell or no sell, Resma would be very proud of me for saying that. Sell or no sell is a reset opportunity. So if we're running 7, 8, 10,000 appointments a week, we should have 7, 8, 10,000 resets a week. We're not there by any, so there's a gap that we need to cover. And if we do, it's going to be just gangbusters. So
yep.
Pay attention to that, resets.
Yep. So we're ahead of where we were last year. We're a little behind forecast, which is where we anticipated to be. That's what the forecast means. So while we're having this direct conversation is because we want everyone to kind of step up to and hear the challenge. And we want to know who's going to separate themselves to say like, look, man, I'm ready to go set a record for myself. I'm ready to do these 4 things. Number 1, engagement. Number 2, leads and resets. Number 3, personal production. That's what we're talking about. Set an all-time high for you, not just personal producers, directs, AOs, anyone that is trying to get to the next level. Go set a record in activity for yourself. If you set a record in leads and resets, then you'll set a record in activity, then you'll set a record in appointments, then you'll set a record in personal production. So I want to see who can step up and do that. There's some cool things that we have coming up at a conference around some VIP experiences, which we'll let more people know on, but it's really going to be all about growth. We want to see who's growing. We want to see who's holding their hand up. And the 4th thing after personal production is conference promotion. You guys are already doing a good job of that. You heard Susie talking about the women's event the day before conference. We want to pack that out as well. So if you will focus on those 4 things, then the next 2 to 3 weeks will be amazing for you and moving into conference. Also, keep an eye on June. We got a 5-week turn-in coming up. And it's been a while since we've gone out and shattered a 5-week turn-in record. We've shattered some 4 weeks, and we've shattered plenty of different types of records on a weekly basis. I have no doubt that we can go out and just blow past to the tune of 20 or 30% past our previous records if everyone will do what we're talking about doing. So
time to rally, guys. If you are in, let us see it in the comments. Time to rally.
Time to rally. I love that old conference, an old conference cry. What was that? 2000 and
yep. This is the moment in our company's history where it's time to rally. So let's rally together, guys. We can move mountains together.
Here's what I think we should do. If we break a record in the next 2 weeks,
pizza party.
I was going to say Casey will shave his head.
Shave my head.
And Spivey will memorize and repeat verbatim that whole amazing locker room speech on Any Given Sunday by Al Pacino on a conference call. He's going to act it out. And there might be some cuss words in there.
Brandon will grow a rat tail, or maybe
I will. I need to grow like a cul-de-sac. A cul-de-sac right here?
Yeah, grow the sides out.
No.
Anybody that wants to see Brandon grow the sides out.
No.
Yes.
No, not doing
Let's see, time to rally.
I've got to learn a whole 8-minute monologue.
I know. Well, I got to grow the worst haircut there is. Shake
know.
all this thing out with a not a mullet, but a skullet. I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
My mother said there's just too much vanity. I can't do it. I can't walk around like that.
You look good.
Casey, you would look great, man. You have a great head. You would look fantastic with a shaved head.
Oh, it's funny. Oh, it's funny. I'm gonna hang on to my hair as long as I can. Then I'm gonna shave it.
How about you let me wax your armpit hair again like we did on stage one time?
I will allow this.
You will?
I will allow this if we accomplish what we're going to accomplish together.
I think a record broken this week or next week, and then a 5-week turn-in record broken means Casey
Gets a pet waxed.
Gets a pit waxed. God, sure. Man, I'm so impressed with you.
Are you really sure?
Never known you to be this.
So we had a stipulation that we have a professional do it.
I'm doing it.
Pam will do it. She's a professional.
No, I remember when you stuck your arm to your side of your body at the last one, we had to rip your skin. I'm not doing it.
Yeah. I got a short pain memory, so.
Yeah.
maybe I might
That's
regret
exactly
Yeah,
what
you
Susie was
do.
talking about. Yeah, I love it.
it.
right.
We'll get a professional there.
Both pits. Well, yeah, I can't just do one pit. I mean, that's gonna
No,
be.
you gotta be.
Spivey,
balanced.
Spivey, go back a slide. Boom. One more thing on leads. We can produce upwards of 1,500 to 2,000 more analog leads than we've ever done, or than we're doing right now, excuse me. Don't shy away from getting more direct mail, getting more call-in leads. These are the states. We're going to try to offer a little bit more clarity around how many we think we can produce by state. If you're a digital lead taker, you need to up the number of states that you have. If you're a new that you're requesting, I think the best numbers that we're seeing are 7 or 8. We're going to continue to dig into this data, give you more clarity. If you're a new agent, you should be working more bonus leads. If you're a seasoned agent, you should have a solid mix of bonus analog leads, potentially even analog A leads and digital A leads, because sometimes one of the sources is going to be up, sometimes they might be down. But the bottom line is the data cannot speak more clearly. We need more bonus leads taken. 12 times your investment. 12 times.
Pretty
your
good.
investment. And you don't have to sit there and call all through it, man. You just stick them through the machine. All right, we're out.
Hey, we think conference is gonna sell out, guys. It holds a little less than 5,000 people. One of the other things you want to do is book your hotel room in the room block. This conference last year cost us $750,000 outside of the ticket cost. So after we collect the ticket income, it still costs us $750,000. So this is a massive investment for the company to make. We do it because we know the return on investment. We know you guys come and attend and invest in owners packs and all of that kind of stuff because of the ROI and what we get out of it. So, but the hotel component is a risk point for any organization, because when you sign these big group deals with these hotels, you need to hit the room block. So make sure, there's other hotels available out there. You might be able to save $20 by walking 4 blocks away, but stay where the heat is, stay where the room block is, and get your owners packs before they go up too. They will be going up from $18.99 to $21.99 on June 1st. Still an unbelievable deal. Because again, keep in mind what you're doing with an owner's pack is you're just kind of backing yourself into a corner. You're saying, I'm going to do whatever I can to guarantee that I get 10 people there with me, which will be about $50,000 a month of production outside of your personal pen, which is about $50,000 a year on average in passive income from your agency. So you invest $2,000, back yourself into a corner so that you get 10 people there with you. And then you're making $3,000 to $4,000 a month of passive income coming out of it. So it's an unbelievable deal. But remember, you're selling those tickets. So you're actually recouping the $2,000 that you invest if you sell your block of 10. So jump in the owner's box with us and invest in your business. And then this is going to be awesome too. We had him on a conference call, about 2 months ago. And we were like, man, he was dropping so many bombs. We were like, we got to get this guy to conference. So Dr. Jim Lohr will be joining us. And can't think of a better person to be joining too with the theme Engage.
Man, very powerful stuff. B-Dubs is a huge supporter. This has been one of the books that we've all poured into, and powerful engagement, guys. This is going to be next level opportunity to hear from one of the premier individuals. And B-Dubs, this kind of sets us up, buddy.
Yeah, man.
You got a premier opportunity with Agency Owner Academy, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah. Just
Talk
think,
about it.
too, I love it. I mean, think too, we had John Maxwell a couple years ago, leading expert in leadership. And then we've got Jim Lohr. Since our word of the year is engage, we get the leading expert in engagement to help you manage your energy. But yeah, for sure. Our internal teams have been working super hard on updating and making the Agency Owner Academy experience the absolute leading edge, best stuff that you can learn. So we are now officially opening it to all AOs. So we had our initial agency owners that have not attended before register, but we still have actually plenty of room this time because we got a decent sized room block. So just to give you an overview on what our team's been working on, of course, the first night's a kickoff with the founders. We get a little mingle time and they do a panel and always download some amazing wisdom. And then we basically during AO Academy now go sequentially through the business in a very, we're giving you not only the knowledge, but the know-how, right? So for you to win, you need knowledge, but you also need know-how, the head, the heart, and the practice. So the first block is on recruiting and the whole Symmetry recruiting system, budget, metrics, return on investment, schedule. That's going to be led by Jamie Susi and Jacob Pogue, as well as our distro team, we call it, distribution team, the internal sales experts of Spivey and Ditson and Resma and Sean Lyons. We've got agency management. We're getting into onboarding, lead allocation. Brian Delaney's coming in to talk about the Symmetry staffing blueprint and what a base shop mentor role looks like. The sales team, actually, we've expanded their time for this Agency Owner Academy. So they have a whole afternoon with you to talk about recruiting through activation, the stats and the things they're working on, recruiting through habitual writing agent, the terms and the language. Spivey and Danielle are going to be sharing about that, how to engage people in pre-licensing, how to get a ready to write to an SNA. I mean, I could go on and on. The ripples in the house. We're going to do my classic feedback experience, which is becoming, as you know, Spivey, quite a legend. That we won't steal the thunder.
It's a favorite.
It's a favorite. We got BI in the house talking about agency management. Edward Pritchett's doing a session on financial management. And then Kate Doyle's leading an amazing new session on building an enduring agency under the agency development flag. And it's going to be off the charts.
Yeah, man. It's an incredible opportunity, guys. And what I would say is just, again, to be very clear, like, we're now opening this to any agency owner above. If you've been before and you'd like to come again, it'll be worth your time. Just to come here from the individuals we just spoke about, the 130s, the Delaney's, the Susies, the Pogues of the world is a first-class opportunity. But to literally be able to hear some very, very specific sales training around Switchboard is going to be next level opportunity for you to understand what that system can do for your business, and to truly hear it taught from individuals that are using it every single day, that have literally tried to find ways in the system to maximize the activity, not only in personal production, but how you can get views into your own team and be a better coach and leader for those individuals. And I just say that very clearly because I'm very passionate about this, guys. Switchboard is underutilized. We take ownership on the fact that it was not trained as clearly out of the gate as that it could have been. And that's because we had to go fast and we had to launch a platform that was disruptive to the industry, and we learned a tremendous amount along the way. But bottom line is, everybody, we are on to an absolute gold mine. And this is an opportunity to reset. It starts tomorrow. Come to the Agency Owner Academy, get registered this week, get on HQ, AOs, check your email. But guys, it starts tomorrow. The carrier call that we typically have for the next 4 weeks at least are going to be led by myself, by Jason Ditson, and by Sean Lyons. Sean Lyons and Jason Ditson literally have sat there and gone through every X and O you can imagine through Switchboard. They're working directly with the innovators over at that team to improve all of the processes, to improve all of the flows, to improve all of the actual lingo that is sent to any client. No individual in this company has had more experience and time on the platform than Sean Lyons. He runs a controlled team of agents that are W-2 type employees, where we literally do nothing but go through these systems and automations and figure out ways to maximize sales and to make sure that you're getting the most value from your leads. everybody on this call, mark it on your calendar. Make sure you're encouraging your teams to attend. Do not miss tomorrow's Thursday training call series, where we are going to unlock the first of a 4-week series on how to maximize not only Switchboard, but how you maximize Switchboard and Lighthouse leads and Razor Ridge leads and digital leads, bonus leads, and call-in leads, and how you actually adjust the flow and the amount of communication, the touch points, and the actual messaging that's going through. You guys are going to be blown away with the data that we've collected and shown where people are trying to use Switchboard. We've got agents that will buy 100 leads, put them into Switchboard, and come out with just a very small handful of results. We literally have watched now why that is occurring, and we know how to teach you and train you to stop this. We know how to teach and train you as an agency owner to help your new agents not get into that flow and fix it early on.
Love it.
This is going to be big, guys. I'm very passionate about it. So be sure and join us tomorrow at 11 Eastern. And it is the typical carrier training call. Pam.
Yeah. When Spivey gets excited.
Fired up.
Call is another live training call for our AOs only. This is for teaching them how to navigate SureLC, because as of Monday, 5 days away, we're going to be moving into moving all of our contracting processes to SureLC as we announced last week. But we've added a few training opportunities because we've noticed that only about half of our AOs and admins have attended, which is a little concerning. It starts Monday, just a reminder. So please try to get on one of the next upcoming meetings so you know what to do starting Monday. And then secondly, agents who were contracted during the time we were using Agent Sync will be receiving an email sometime within the next week so that they can go in and set up their profile in SureLC. And this is important because that's how we are going to be able to process future contracts for them, and or if they have any downline that want to get contracts, we won't be able to do it unless their upline is in there as well. And then last but not least, we got a lot of great feedback last week on this announcement. Starting Monday, new agents will get 9 carriers right out of the gate. You can see them listed there. And any transferring or advanced market agents will get SBLI and LGA, and then they can choose 7 additional carriers. The ability then to request additional carriers will come once they've submitted at least 15 applications. So all exciting stuff coming up next week in the contracting department. They've been working really hard. And this morning I saw them all working together in a room, and they were processing contracts through SureLC from our pilot groups. It's been going on for 3 weeks now, and they are loving it. They're very excited about it. So we hope it goes well.
Pam, we appreciate you and your team. This is direct feedback from you. This is Pam and Bree and the contracting team looking to serve and solve big problems. We're so grateful for the effort, guys. The additional carrier options, going back to SureLC. The biggest way that you can all say thank you, guys, is pay attention. Please work through your upline and try to resolve the simple questions, the simple support tickets, which include just how do you do something that's probably understood by somebody in your upline. Like, work through your own channels of communication. And then if something's not working properly, always submit a support ticket. But if it's just, I don't know how to log in, or I don't know what this button does, or what does that message mean, there's somebody in your Ultimate 130 hierarchy that does know. And we're going to be leaning on our leaders to help through that process. And guys, so grateful for this. And it's going to help out the recruiting side so much. So appreciate you, Pam. As always, guys, we've got great calls coming up. Do not miss that FIF resets. I think you heard from the founders how important resets are. The deep dives with sales experts starts tomorrow. Do not miss that. It is going to be very, very game changing for everybody on this call. With that, I know we had a lot of interesting information. We've even had a wardrobe change by Mr. Darin Stubbs. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I figured I should get out of a t-shirt. You know, it is the national call. So
I like the t-shirt though. I always like.
hey, I was practicing the horn this morning. I had my Miles Davis t-shirt on. I got one of my horns right here, working on some new tunes. And
Dude,
I thought, well, wait a minute. I should-
The talent that exudes from Mr. Stubbs is just apparent if you've ever spent time around him. Not only executive vice president and somebody that has made a tremendous impact on the business and the amount of families that are protected, but his ability to coach and train is second to none. He is an individual that is gifted with the ability to speak clearly and to provide a path forward for others that maybe not see one for themselves. He's got some tremendous leaders. One thing that I will say, and embarrass Darin in front of others, anytime
Sure, why
I
not?
ask him to speak into the national call, because he has something specific I want him to say and share with the group at large, his first response is, how many of my leaders can I bring with me? Because it's not about me, it's about my team. And I have to report back to Darin, you can't have 1,900 people on the call with you as guest speakers, Darin, because me and the founder is going to get crazy with our banter and we're going to go too long. And I always have to push back, like, can we dwindle it down to just a few? But the heart of Darin, to always, his first response is glad to serve. How many can I bring with me? Tells me everything I need to know about Darin. I'm going to shut up. Darin, you guys go 20, 25 minutes. Everybody stay
right.
tuned in. Get out your pencils, get out your paper, take notes. Turn it over to you, Mr. Darin Stubbs.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. And Craig, go ahead and bring yourself on camera, Craig. And just want to say thank you, Todd and Ashley and Danny and Kyle and Lisa and Tony Capistrano and our whole hierarchy. And of course, Brian and Casey and Brandon. It's really a great honor and privilege to speak and share. And yeah, I love the opportunity to be featured, but it's, man, all the numbers that our agency is putting up, the Pac West agency, it's not me. It's this wonderful team of people that have been very focused and working together with Synergy for a long time. And so today, you know, what we were asked to talk about is, you know, keeping that mindset up. And that's kind of a fun topic. I enjoy talking about that and maybe try to help you find some nuggets in your journey as you are starting here with Symmetry. And so I want to talk to the people that are brand new and maybe some of the people that have been stuck a little bit. I like to refer to leads. I'm actually living on an island right now. This is where I'm living. We rented a home for a month in Avalon, Catalina Island. I love it out here. And so sometimes, you know, as you go through the journey, you begin with the end in mind. I love that Steve Covey quote. And one of the great things about what we do is we already have a business plan and a level leadership plan, a promotion plan. All that stuff's already written out, and I'm going to come back to that. But I picked two up and coming leaders in our agency today. Anthony Mendocino. He's got a tremendous background. He's already got something kind of prepared. We kind of rehearsed this a little bit, guys, yesterday. So I'm ready to go. So Anthony, I'm just going to let you take it away, brother. Go for it. Anthony Mendocino. Oh, by the way, Anthony was the #1 producer in the Pac West agency last year, wrote just under 300,000 on his own pen. The guy blinks 20 grand a month. So I'm always really proud of Anthony. Heart of gold, great trainer from Philadelphia, Mr. Mendocino.
Thank you so much, Darin. I appreciate being asked to be on the call. Feel blessed to be here. Guys, my name is Anthony Mendocino. I'm a key leader out of Philadelphia, PA, like Darin said. I'm direct to agency director, Audrey Bobinger. I wanted to take a minute to say thank you to Brian, Brandon, and Casey for this amazing opportunity. Prior to Symmetry, I had 20 years experience in sales management, and I had a great income. But as Brandon said, I was in the Sleep When You Die program. So just had no time to enjoy my life and the money I was making. And Symmetry has given me back the time to spend with the people I love. So I'm very grateful for that. So I wanted to start there. So guys, I'm going to talk to you about the importance of having a daily routine that will allow you to operate at a level of peak performance. And as I talk, I'm going to mention a couple key points here, and I'm going to ask them in the form of a question. You can write them down, but I'm asking them that way because I want you guys to reflect on some of the things that I'm going to bring up. So the first question that I have is, how do you view yourself? Are you an average producer struggling to book appointments, or are you a top producer in the making? Are you an inexperienced leader of a small group of people, or are you a developing CEO of a growing business? How do we get from average to top producer? How do we get from an inexperienced leader to a leader worth following? Is the answer just to work harder? How many people feel like, I know I sometimes kind of get stuck in that rut, that you could just work harder and work your way to the next level? I'm going to challenge that way of thinking today. And I'm going to say, when you want to increase your level of success, there has to be a shift in mindset. We can't dial, recruit, and grind our way to success. We have to grow our way to success. So the next point that I'm going to talk to you guys about is, are you a spectator to inspiration and motivation, or are you harnessing the power of both in your life and in your business? Let me explain that a little bit. A lot of people can hear a good speaker or attend a live event, and they could feel really energized and motivated after the event. But few people will sustain and implement that energy and that enthusiasm into their life and business. So how do we do that? How do we sustain that mindset and use it in our business? The first is an understanding that our minds need daily stimulation. So just like daily exercise equals muscle growth, we need a daily routine to ensure that we maintain and grow a high level mindset. So what does a daily routine look like specifically? For me, it is reading, attending live events like the conference that we have coming up, showing up fully engaged to our conference calls and our huddle calls, associating with successful people, meditating, affirmations, and avoiding kind of pitfalls like, social media, scrolling through social media, et cetera. So when I struggle, or I feel like I'm kind of losing momentum and I'm frustrated, I've often fallen off of that routine. So I want you guys to think for a minute of an elite athlete, and think of somebody that comes to mind. When I think of an elite athlete, I think of like Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Tom Brady. It's common knowledge and obvious that they had to train and condition their bodies daily to respond to the physical and mental adversity that they faced. Is it as obvious to us that as top producers, business owners, and leaders, that we too need to train and condition our mind and body daily to rise above the emotional adversity and challenge that we face in our business and in our life? And I think that goes back to that question of, how do you think of yourself? So if we're not average, but we're top producers in the making, and if we're not average leaders, we are developing leaders in the making, it's a little bit more obvious that we should pay attention to our mindset and our routine. Next reflection point, guys, is what are your thoughts and views on fear, failure, struggle, and adversity?
That's a good topic, because everybody struggles with this one, including people that are very experienced. So I'm anxious to hear what you have to say here, Anthony.
Thanks, Darin. Are they positives or negatives in your life and business? Are we surprised when they show up? Should we be surprised when they show up? How long do we let them discourage us? And how long do we let them occupy space in our mind? We can learn to think about failure, adversity, struggle differently. I remember the first time hearing Kyle Kimbrell say, failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is a part of success. And when I kind of pondered that and I unpacked that, I felt that that was really powerful. A few months back, we had Brian Pope on the huddle, on our daily huddle call, and he talked about a documentary on the History Channel, and it was The Food That Built America. And it was the story of titans in the food industry around the turn of the century. And it's like stories of the Heinz family, the Campbell Soup Company, et cetera. The common theme that each of those entrepreneurs had is what they did in the face of adversity and quote unquote failure. They didn't get discouraged, they got more determined. They didn't view failure as an end, but they saw it as an opportunity for growth. In our business, can we develop the mental fortitude to accept adversity and to roll up our sleeves and get more determined? When we get discouraged, do we have a game plan? Who are we going to call? Who can we lean on? What can we do? Can we go for a walk? Can we do a breathing exercise? Can we practice gratitude? How quickly can we get back to neutral and move on? I think a lot of the answer depends on our daily routine and practice. So guys, I'm going to wrap up with one more point. I think it's kind of the most important point. What is your level of desire to achieve the dreams that you want? And I think Jamie Susi kind of talked about that in the beginning. I'm going to repeat it. What is your level of desire to achieve the dreams that you want? What are you really here for? And what do you really want out of life? A while back on one of our calls, I heard someone say, I wake up every morning, I look at my kids and I ask, did daddy love you enough to build this business? I think about that a lot because it fuels my desire to succeed here. And Think and Grow Rich talks about the burning desire backed by faith to succeed. So I'm going to end with that last point for you guys to reflect on. What is your level of desire to achieve what you want in life? So that's what I got for you guys, Darin.
Right on, Anthony. Love it, man. That's a great segue. And we tease Anthony a little bit about his accent for those West Coast people with Anthony's Brooklyn, New York / Philly, Boston, daughter and dog, Washington for a quarter accent. And my daughter, Audrey. We love Anthony. He's been a pivotal part of our team and the Kimbrell Master Agency, hosting the huddle call for almost 2 years, Anthony, on Mondays. Quite a
little over a year and a half. Yeah.
Yeah, being a great leader. And I like where you ended, because I remember one of the first seminars I went to, John Ziller was talking, and he talked about finding a why that makes you cry. And yes, John, I'm giving you credit for that, brother. But your accent on Danny wasn't that great. I can do a better accent on Danny any day of the week, because that dog don't hunt down here in Louisiana. But so I teased Danny a little bit on that. But I think that's a good thing, Anthony, is people focusing on why. Why are you doing this? So when adversity comes, you focus on some of that memory of where you're going. So that's really a great point. And I really appreciate what you had to say. So Craig, batter up, man. Craig's got a great background. I remember the first time we talked on the phone, and then I flew up to Spokane from Boise to do a corporate overview, and the room was packed. I mean, absolutely just wall-to-wall people. I remember asking Stephen Jackson, what the heck, man? And so, well, more than half this room is just Craig McManaman. And Craig's got a great story. And I love one of the things he talked about in his previous career. And I'm going to steal your thunder, Craig, but how you worked for this home improvement company, and cabinets and granite and countertops and really high-end stuff. And while you made a nice 6-figure income, no doubt they paid you well, but you watched your boss build a fortune and build an empire and have like 4 vacation homes or something like that. And you realized, wait a minute, I'm getting paid well, but I'm building this guy's dream. So from that point of view, Craig, let's kind of hear your story and what your success has been, because it didn't initially come right away. You were kind of on the periphery, kind of in, kind of 1 foot out, and then something happened to you about April last year. And so take it away, man. Tell us your story.
Yeah, thanks, Darin. I appreciate you inviting me here today. I'm not nervous at all, but I met worked in granite. I was in granite for 12 years. I met Shannon Turner and Stephen Jackson at a rafting trip. Just sort of picking Stephen's brain. What is he doing? I wasn't thrilled with what I was doing. I was looking for a way out. I got licensed in November of 2020. I took some time to kind of think about exactly what I was going to do. It took me a while. And Shannon once asked me, do you regret ever leaving? Do you regret? No, my only regret is that I didn't start fast enough. It took me 18 months before I wrote my first application since I was licensed. I started plugging into the calls, the engagement, obviously that's the theme this year. Plugging in, that's what really started to drive me, figuring this business out, learning in. I wrote my first application last April. I put my first cold market recruit post last May. And then Chris Leak, I started generating a friendship with him, kind of watching him, seeing his success in 2020, 2021. And he had a conversation with me and he said, what do you want to do? And I said, I want to make up time. I want to make up for my lost time. I spent a lot of time in a career that I thought was going to take me to the top and reach my goals, and it didn't. And I want to go get to the top of the company. I want to see what I can do. I started hearing these badasses, Jamie and Sarah, and their story. And I was super blessed to get to meet them a few months ago and chat with them, pick their brains on some things. But and again, now I'm kicking myself again, because I hear, I got my license 6 months after Jamie did, and look where she's at. And I'm not, I'm chasing those tails, but trying to catch up to the numbers that they're throwing out. But Chris said, you can be AO by the end of the year, and this is how we're going to do it. And I did. I ran my AO run in October, November, December. 6 months basically after I started. I was promoted to agency owner. I then started recruiting more and more heavy, stayed in the fields, kept writing business. And now what's really feeding me is just seeing what my team has done. I've got agents that are, written 100K so far year to date. They slingshot 3 months in a row, SNAs. Those are the wins for me. It's people have asked why, you've had some success here in a short amount of time. What have you done? And what I learned in last career and here in the culture and everything. And that's it for me. It's the culture on that AO call, even this morning, Ryan Miller, John Ziller, they were talking about virtual offices and things like that. And we started kind of a virtual office about 2 months ago and plugging people in just daily. It runs 24/7. They can plug in. We're doing live dialing on there, getting people, whether it's conversation, interview tips, things like that. Chris Leak and I do group interviews, things like that. That is what is bringing. I went to an office with 60 people for 12 years. And I feel closer to people now, and we're virtual because of the difference in culture that this company has. Plugging in, I've never missed a Danny Young call every Sunday night. I mean, even hearing him earlier today on the Builders call, just powerful stuff. And then, I always say I came here for the money because, I wanted to build a dream. I wanted that impact, that what the financial industry can do, the insurance industry. I've obviously stayed for the people. It's blown my mind. It exceeds my expectations every single day on showing up for my clients. My why, we talk about our why. My why is my son and my grandpa. Like you just said, have a why strong enough to cry about, right? So having, I have pictures of them on my desk. My grandpa taught me, stay consistent, show up. If you want anything in life, just show up. And that's what I've done. I show up for my agents. I show up for my clients. My agents have shown up for me in turn. And that's what drives me every day. Every sales book that I've read, and I've read more now since being here, because this is, we hear leadership.
Core value number 2, Danny talks a lot about that one, relentless pursuit of personal growth.
Yep.
That's kind of an important
I've read
one.
more since being here than I have in the previous 20 years, right? So and everyone is consistency and persistency. And that's really what it takes, is just being consistent, showing up for you show up, they'll show up. Like Field of Dreams, you build it, they will come. So
let's talk a minute about, because I know you've had some people didn't catch that. Craig got his license and then kind of hung around the periphery. Didn't write a piece of business for how long, Craig?
18 months.
18 months until he first turned the first app in. That's not exactly the SNA track. I mean, SNA 6 apps in 6 days, right? SNA first week, SNA right away.
Yeah.
That wasn't you, exactly. So then you made a decision in April of last year, sat down with Chris Lee, got some mentoring and coaching. In case you're wondering, I'm pausing on that because there's a success key. If you're not sure, reach up, get to your mentor, your coach, get to someone who's been where you want to go. Be humble and be willing to receive coaching. And that's what Craig did. Started the run. But let's talk about adversity and setback for a minute, Craig. September last year, you hit AO. We were on fire. All right, we're going to do it. September, October, November. And then the snapshot came out. And what happened?
Yeah, I was a chargeback that hit and dropped my number down. We were like $800 under. So I had finished
below 30,000.
Yeah,
Below 30.
My third month of AO, and then my first month of AO dropped below 30,000, and I had to run another month. It's what I found out here. It is 5 steps forward, and it can be a couple steps back here and there. And and like Eric Ondrick said, my agency director, if he told me one day, if I could give you an opportunity that you could make this much money, would you go through some turbulence for a few years? And I said, absolutely. And it's different for everybody. That looks different for everybody, but I'm okay with it. And having that mindset. Anthony talked about relationship with failure. One of my top producing agents on my team, that was the first thing she said when she was a guest speaker on one of the on our huddle call, was she just had a different relationship with failure. She allowed herself to failure, because through failure comes success. So the phoenix rose from the ashes. So having that perspective, having that mindset, it's been huge for me. Very blessed to be here. Thank you, Darin, and about 1,500 other people that I could thank on this call. So very, very blessed. Anthony Mendocino being one of them. Thank you so much.
Hey, brother, glad to have you. Really proud of you. I've been watching the number of tickets in your owner's pack fly out the door. Really excited to see that. And I know you're going to have a big presence at conference, and just appreciate you taking the time to do all this, Craig and Anthony, kind of short notice, but I knew you guys were up for the challenge. You guys are animals, stone cold killers, both. I love them. They're amazing. And with the remaining 4.5 hours that Casey and Brian gave me, I mean, pardon me, like 6.5 minutes. Sorry, Jason.
Let's do it, Darin. Let's do the next 6
Yeah,
hours.
4.5 hours. Boy, that's what everyone wants to hear me rambling on. But I do have a lot of things I want to cover. And it's always like, man, there's never enough time to really develop these topics. So I'm just going to go full speed, Jason, if that's okay with you. And I got some slides I pulled up. But one of the things I want to talk about, again, the newest person, beginning with the end in mind. One of the things I love about Symmetry is it's the same business plan for everyone. Everyone begins at the beginning. 6 years and 10 months ago, I signed my contract, I think in July of 2016. My first month was August of 2016. Tony Capistrano, Kyle, Lisa, Eric Ondrick, and Darin Davis and I, and a handful of people. We had this practice company. We kind of knew what we were doing, barely. But we just kind of came in and really got started. And what I realized was, as I've looked at the culture of Symmetry now coming up 7 years, one of the things I love is everyone starts at the same place. You can't buy your way in, you can't drink your way in, you can't sleep your way in, you can't golf your way in, you can't schmooze your way in. Nobody gets a deal. Everyone has the same deal. Everyone begins at the beginning. The only variable in the equation, Jason, is you. What are you going to do? And what I want to do is just kind of screen share and maybe just give you a moment to stop and pause and think and say, yeah, I've already seen all these slides, Darin. I've already seen these pictures. Yeah, but have you looked at it from this point of view? I mean, you do understand that Brandon, Brian, and Casey used to be field agents, all of them. Well, you don't understand, Darin, someone told me to F off and hung up the phone on me. You don't think Brandon, Brian, and Casey have not had people hang up on the phone on them? That's back when we used to drive to appointments, driving 2 hours for a porch, drive 2 hours back home. They've all done that. So the people leading the company are asking you to do what they've already done. They're not telling you go do something they haven't done themselves. So think about that. Just at the highest level of leadership, these are people that came from the field, that came from being you and me and us. And then just start to scroll through. I love when people say, Jason, well, what kind of people are Symmetry people? I'm like, I don't know. I love it when I do a corporate overview and I just start having people turn their cameras on and just look around. Well, we got Black people, white people, brown people, Asian people, people in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70. So yeah, Danny came here at 2 months before his 67th birthday. He turned 76 a couple months back, $28 million. And he's he's got a big, thick aunt says things like, that dog don't hunt down here in Louisiana. I'm not sure what dogs not hunting doesn't mean, but I think that means that doesn't work. But if he can do that, what can you do? I mean, Edward graduated from Yale, degree in chemical engineering, I believe. I mean, I have such a high level of trust with Edward. If Edward told me to put on a blindfold and march that way into battle, I'd be like, okay, give me the blindfold, give me the sword. I'm going to march into battle because I'm just going to listen to Edward. Edward's where I want to be. So if a man says, hey, Darin, you probably got to do this, then I'm going to be humble enough to listen and receive coaching. So when you start to scroll through this, here's Kyle and Lisa, we came in. So, hey, we have Danny and Ashley, 130s direct. Ashley and Tyler, 130. Kyle and Lisa, 130. Tony Capistrano, 130. Me, 130. But, Miranda, single mom, raising kids. George and Janet, wonderful people. I mean, God bless Jimmy. I found some great pictures of us the other day. I was looking for some pictures and found some pictures of us in Costa Rica 3 years ago. My heart kind of had a moment of pause to think about Jimmy. And Mike and Sarah, Nate, I mean, just scroll through here and look at the people. I mean, I love what Danny says. Jordan Hunt, he's been here for like a minute. He's at the top contract, right? Marlon used to live in his car. Marlon made 7 figures last year. Andrew was 20 when he started. Now he's 28. Guy looks like a supermodel, right? He's on the advisory board. Why would we put a 28-year-old on the advisory board? I don't know, because I'm a 58-year-old. I don't know anything about these or millennials. I'm not on TikTok. I'm not going to get on TikTok. But by having that diversity, and you look at all these different kinds of people, David Alvarado, Eileen Balmer out of St. Louis, Jamie Suits, Jeremy Whitaker, scroll through here. I guarantee you will see someone who looks like you on this list. So you say, well, what kind of people are Symmetry people? Maybe you're Carlton. Maybe you're Chris Lee. Chris Lee's an animal on my team. The guy was Rookie of the Year. Eric Ondrick. Talk about a man of consistency. And this year's his breakout year. They hit those 130 numbers last month, Jason. Now we got to, line it all up, and it ain't easy. If it was easy, everyone would do it. So I like to look at that and say, begin with the end in mind, because, hey, look, here's the printed, published compensation plan. Everyone gets the same deal. There is no super secret Edward Pritchett video that Brian Delaney took 10 years ago at the office in Asheville, that if Delaney would just cut loose of that video, and if you could just watch that one super secret Edward Pritchett video, you're going to be an animal on the phone. It doesn't exist. You have to go learn how to become an animal on the phone. The whole business boils down to this thing right here. Can you make some dials? RGAs, revenue generating activities. So how do you keep your mindset straight? Well, if you begin with the end in mind and you look at these levels of leadership and say, well, guess where I started, Jason? 6 years and 10 months ago, this was Darin right here, new agent, me. And then I called Eric Andre and I started calling other people. And you get to promote yourself. And so if you're new, and remind yourself that it's okay that if someone went a little faster than you, it's okay if someone's journey was a little different than you. You know why? Because everyone comes here with different experiences. People come with different levels of business acumen. I have decades of running a business before. So yeah, I mean, I like it when people say, well, yeah, you make it look so easy. Well, one would think I can make it look easy after 7 years and tens of thousands of dials. Yes, I can make it look easy. But you know this version of Darin. Go ask Kyle, Lisa, Eric Andre, some of the other people on my team. Ask about the 7 year ago version of Darin. When I was struggling to make calls, I was $4,000 into leads before I set my first appointment. I was that terrible, guys. That's how bad I was. I spoke too fast. And I'm speaking fast now because this is training, but boy, I'd shift down into first gear and really low and slow when I'm talking to customers. Everyone's laughing. People who know me, yeah, this guy talks fast. But I want you to protect your mind and write this acronym down. SNIOP, SNIOP. Guard yourself. Do not be susceptible to negative influences of other people or outside persons, however you fill it in and however you want. Because maybe there's some people in your life that, you know, they're afraid of you being that crab in the bucket and leaving the crappy life they have, and you're going to step out and go have a better life, and it's going to take work. It's going to take struggle. That's baked into the mix. So when you're failing, you're not actually failing, you're succeeding. Someone hangs up on you, you should fist pump and say, yeah, man, look at me. And don't let that person affect your attitude, affect and effect. Just turn the page and dial the next lead. Just keep moving on. You know, and you start to take a look at where we're at in where you begin from. Everybody can control, I like to call it the 3 A's. Your attitude every day. You get to wake up and control your attitude. 2, you get to control your daily activities. And then 3, who you associate with. So congratulations for being on here. We're running a little long. I appreciate that. But hey, if you don't change who you associate with, nothing is going to change for you. So how do you stay positive? How do you get through the waves and the hurdles and the setbacks? Begin with the end in mind. And I think as you continue to do that and realize that we're all in the same business plan, we're all in the same opportunity, you get to give yourself a pay raise. You can work where you want, when you want, which state you want. You get to choose who you're going to recruit. Hey, I have people that want to be recruited, and after a few vetting phone calls and maybe a couple face-to-face, I realize this person is not going to do what I'm asking them to do, so it's a waste of my time. I'll say, hey, look, I just don't think it's a good fit. You should probably call somebody else. And that's okay. You get to choose who you want to work with. So I think as I wrap up here, I mean, I could go on for quite a while, but I just want to respect the time constraints that I was given. And just a couple more slides here. Let me pull this up real quick here. Oh, I suppose it would be helpful to hit screen share first. Let's try that again. All right. And we're going to switch to this screen right here. Looking at this, everyone's seen the cash flow quadrant, right? You begin as an employee. Well, we're going to help you become self-employed. And then as you build your business, you become a business owner, and then you become an investor. That, I remember the first time I saw this really well done was Kevin Purdy. And we were in like Jacksonville, Florida, Orlando, or Lakeland or someplace like that. I thought, man, that guy's sharp. I like that. And then you just start to take a look at your cash flow. We've been talking about this a little bit. In the beginning, you need to produce. You need to stay in the field long enough. One of the biggest mistakes people make is they get out of the field too soon, too early. So I've actually come up with some metrics, and I'm just going to throw these out because we're running out of time here. And I like what Brian Delaney says, and that is that, you know, this is your personal production. This is the income overrides and residuals, and this is what you're going for. This is the thing that Brandon was talking about. The equity appreciation rights is the cherry on top. This is the thing. This is what we got here for. So in my opinion, you need to stay in the field until you're completely debt-free. Maybe you have a mortgage outside of that. You've got at least a year's worth of cash flow, after-tax dollars in the bank, no credit card debt, nothing. And then you have 4 to 5 times your needs. So if your nut is $5,000 a month, you have to blink 20 grand a month in residuals and overrides before you even start to think about coming out of the field. So stay in the field. Right now, we're having this rallying cry. I haven't really been taking leads for years because, hey, I'm such a heavy hitter, Jason. I brought in a grand total of 13 new clients last year, and my agency brought in 4,653 total. Those 13 clients were all high-end annuities. I made an extra 400 grand from 13 referrals and 13 social media posts where all those deals came in from. But figure out what this number is for you, because everything you want in life is like this balancing act. It's units of work. It's going to take you 3 to 5 years, not 3 to 5 weeks, not 3 to 5 days, 3 to 5 years of focus. Well, Darin, I want all these new things and I'm doing the work. The weights represent units of work. And you're, I'm working, nothing's happened. Well, because you haven't done enough yet. But if you stay at it long enough, you'll start to see a little bit of that motion. Things start to come your way a little bit. And there's the tragic mistake that people make. They pull off from the activities that got them to where they were going too soon. And well, you know, it goes back down. You lose your momentum. So stay at it long enough until finally what you want will pop into your view. Just accept that some people are going to go faster than others. It's okay. You're running your own journey. So, hey, we're switching into summertime from springtime. So what is this, Jason? That's a thermometer. And what does the thermometer do?
Gives us the temperature.
It reacts to its environment around. If it's hot, it's hot. If it's cold, it's not. So if you're a thermometer, then you're running your business, man, you're going to have a long, painful, arduous journey. Instead, decide to become one of these, a thermostat. What's a thermostat do? Well, it sets the setting, it controls, it regulates. So if you begin with the end in mind and you realize, look, man, you're not a boss. You want to become the leader. You want to become the mentor. Get out there and lead. Get out there and stay after it. Because what I can tell you is in 7 short years, everything in my life has changed because the power of one phone call. Tony Capistrano had the temerity, the guts to pick up the phone and call me. And I almost hung up on him because I thought it was multi-level. He's like, no, bro, dude, don't hang up the phone on me. It's not multi-level, I promise. You know, but he gave that thing, there's these guys in North Carolina. When a buddy always calls and says, there's these guys, it's got to be lotions, potions, and pills. And I'm just hanging up to Jason Ditson's laughing over there because we've all had that phone call. Thank God, 40 hours later, I jumped on a plane to fly out and see what was all the talk about? What was all the excitement? So if you're looking at this, man, we have 80-something days for conference. Get your ticket to conference right now. Decide when we hang up, we're done here today. Looks like there's still about 1,100 people on here. If you haven't got your ticket, call your agency owner, get a discounted ticket, just make a decision, do it today. Oh, but Darin, I don't have enough room for the airline ticket in the hotel. That's okay. Buy the ticket right now. Now you're committed. Now you're in. Oh my gosh, that's right. You're in the same business as all of us. Pick up the phone, make some dials, make some commissions. Now pay for your airline ticket. Pick up the phone, make some dials. Now pay for your hotel room and your living expenses. Better yet, why don't you go in and buy a couple of tickets and then turn around and resell those and bring people on your team? You do realize that the advanced ticket price is good till the end of this month, and that price goes up $30 a ticket. So why not get committed now? Just make a decision. Choose today what you're going to do. And I think if you do that, you realize, wait a minute, I'm in the same business as everyone else, which means my pathway is the same business model, the same business plan. And if that person can do it, then I can do it. And you might be saying, well, you know, Darin, I didn't see myself on that picture. I didn't see someone. Well, great. That means there's plenty of room for you. Get your butt out there and get to work and put your picture up on that page as a new agency owner or director. And we'll celebrate you because, you know, we want you to work hard, to become better, and then give you voice, give you a platform where your story can be told, your story can be heard, because everybody has a story to tell, but you're going to have to earn that right. And I like that Brandon and Casey are fair and even-handed. This company's got a true moral compass. It points north. Yes, there's going to be setbacks. Yes, there's going to be frustrations. Yes, you're going to want to quit someday. You know when I wanted to quit the most, Jason? I swear to God, when I wanted to quit the most, when I had 2 weeks left in my 3rd run for 130. It took me 3 times over 3 years because I grew it, lost to people, had to start back over, grew it, lost people, had to start back over. Was I discouraged? You bet. Was I going to be denied? Hell no. And that's what you have to find. You have to find a way where you say, I will not be denied. It's just some darn phone calls. Stop overcomplicating it. It's not hard. So anyway, man, I'm jacked. I'm excited. Thank you again for having us on and letting us go a little over. And then Jason, I guess I'll just toss it back to you to wrap it up.
Darin,
Thank you.
I appreciate you, man. I had to close it out. I had to say goodbye to you and how much I appreciate every interaction I have with you. In fact, I owe you 2 phone calls. So Darin's, he encompasses a lot of things. Energy is one of them. And energy drives people. It drives him. Mindset is it, Darin. You guys are all correct. There's going to be a lot of adversity. What we do is not easy, right? But we get to
It's worth
determine
it though.
if we're going to make it, right? And then we can make the decision if we're going to spend a couple months or what have you out on Catalina Island driving around golf carts, right, Darin? But I appreciate everybody's time.
It's just amazing because you can literally create your own life.
Yeah.
I wake up when I want to wake up now. I call when I want to call. I help. But I'm also the first person to jump on the plane, jump on the phone call, have that servant leadership heart to reach out, to help someone, to call someone back. And, that comes down from the very top. I mean, when I first started talking to Brian Pope and Brandon and Casey, I realized I am nothing. I'm nobody to these people. The guy actually remembered my name. What? Wow. Okay. This is cool. There's no big shots here. Just a lot of good people, and everyone's got the equal and ample opportunity to succeed. Just, man, go for it. So
Yeah, we're all rowing in the same direction, right? I appreciate you so much, Darin. Everybody, like he said, get to conference, get around Darin and that energy and his organization, his team. Craig, Anthony, appreciate you both. You know exactly what I'm talking about. So I look forward to seeing all of you at conference. Thanks again for your time. Appreciate you all. You have a great week. We'll see you.
Thanks, guys.